to welcome my group now to the old granary burying ground. Established in the year 1660s, it's the third oldest cemetery in the city of Boston. Called Granary, named after a grain silo that used to be located where Park Street Church is now. Take a quick look around, you see about 2,200 gravestones, but it's estimated that more than 8,000 people buried here. Part of the reason for the difference in numbers, not every foot stone to mark their graves in those days. A lot of folks use painted pieces of wood, which have worn away to nothing over the years. Also, each of the tabletop tombs, which you'll see especially by the back, they look a bit like tables. Those are actually entrances to underground crypts. Inside, which is between 20 and 40 people buried each on average. Any of the larger monuments you find here have largely been put up years later by historic societies who want to make sure the most notable historic figures got their due recognition. I want to point out a few of the notable grave sites here. Boulder in the corner is on the grave of James Otis, the man who gave us the phrase, "Taxation without representation is tyranny," a major phrase throughout the Revolutionary movement. Over there, large monument with a face on it, it's on the grave of John Hancock, most famous for his signature on the Declaration of Independence. Over here, monuments bearing the name Franklin, not Benjamin Franklin himself, but it is his family, including his genius sister Jane Franklin, who collaborated with Ben through a lifelong letter writing campaign between the two of them. Anytime Ben got stuck on an idea or invention he was working on, he wrote letters to one of the smartest people he knew, and one of the few people who could understand what he was talking about, his sister Jane, to bounce the idea off her and get her best advice as to how to make the thing actually work. Over there, inside on the wall, there's a tall rectangular marker on the grave of Robert Treat Paine, who was also assigned the Declaration of Independence, making one of 3 signers buried here, along with Samuel Adams, who's under the boulder over here. Further back is the grave of Paul Revere, but you guys are going to be going to the Old North Church a little bit later on, so they'll tell you a bit more about Paul Revere from there. Also, next to Samuel Adams' grave is the grave marker for the victims of the Boston Massacre. Their names were Samuel Gray, Samuel Maverick, James Caldwell, Patrick Carr, and Crispus Adams. Crispus Adams was the first to fall that night, also noteworthy as being both the first African American and first Native American to be killed in the Revolutionary War. And the 10,000 people who showed up to attend their massive public funeral, to see them buried here at the old Granary burying ground, it showed a major shift in the hearts and minds of locals. Before this event, people felt like their loyalties were split. Not sure if they wanted to be good British citizens, or if the loyalty should side was growing for self-government. After the massacre, people started to choose one side or the other. But let's head back out this way. We don't have a lot of time to get towards Faneuil Hall. Please follow me down here. If you have any questions for me as we're moving along, please bring them up to me, especially as we're moving between stops.